Hello and welcome back to our Team Lotus F1 Manager series, and we are heading to Abu Dhabi in this one. Yes, the penultimate race of the season. Just 2 to go, and last time out, what a race that was for us as a team. And if you haven't seen that one, before I drop the spoiler, do check out the Team Lotus playlist here on YouTube. And if you're not already, do subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and you'll be made aware of when all the new episodes in this series are dropping, and our upcoming series as well. And as always, if you can do me a massive favor and like the video and get involved down below in the comments. But yes, talking about last time out in Qatar, not a great result for us in terms of drivers. It was 4th for Danny Rick, and I believe, was it 6th for Fernando Alonso in the end? Yeah, 4th and 6th for our drivers. But why it was such a good race for us is because we are now the 2026 Constructors Champions. So Team Lotus are world champions again here in 2026. So that championship has been clinched, and now it's all about Danny Rick. Can he claim the Drivers' Championship here in Abu Dhabi? So Yuki Tsunoda is 43 points behind. So I think we worked out last time, if Danny Rick finishes at least 5th, he will claim the World Championship no matter what Yuki does. And then there's all different connotations depending on where Yuki finishes. But Danny Rick has got a great chance of claiming this Drivers' Championship in Abu Dhabi. We'll be, as we go through the race, we'll be looking at the live standings, and we'll be able to tell if we're doing enough. But a lot relies on where Yuki finishes. Yuki really has to win the race. As I say, if Ricciardo finishes at least 5th or above, it doesn't matter where Yuki finishes. Will be Danny Rick's World Drivers' Championship. And we've got to hope he's got a clean race. We don't want any retirements or anything like that, because then it will really be squeaky bum time as we head to the final race in Brazil. But only 4 days until Abu Dhabi. It's a quick turnaround. These last 3 races, Qatar, Abu Dhabi and Brazil, are all back-to-back. So most of the action in this episode is going to be on track. But let's see if there's anything else to do before we get there. Well, somehow, the 45-year-old Fernando Alonso has improved his overtaking. I'm not quite sure how that's worked out. He's not declined all season, so yeah, we'll take that. And this just confirming our drivers for next year. So if you haven't seen this already, Arvid Lindblad is going to be in car 1. He's got a year contract. Franco Colapinto in car 2 with 2 years, and then Aurelio Nobles will remain as our affiliate. So we'll have to look for some new affiliates as we'll be saying goodbye to Danny Rick and Fernando Alonso. Okay, it's time for practice in Abu Dhabi then. 11th for Danny Rick and 8 for hire for Fernando Alonso. Let's jump into practice and nail these setups. Okay, practice completed here in Abu Dhabi, and you can see something against Yuki Tsunoda's name. So this is looking even better for Daniel Ricciardo. It looks like Yuki is unfortunately going to take a grid penalty here, so that may well hamper, well, it will hamper him if that is to be true once we get to qualifying. He's going to have some work to do to try and win this race if he's taking a grid penalty. But in terms of our drivers, pretty well set up. 97% on the setup for both of them. Car parts knowledge nearly there. I think we're running a new chassis with both. Track acclimatization, Danny Rick misses out by 13% and Alonso by 3%. But all in all, pretty good as we head to qualifying. Okay then, we are heading out then in Q1 in Abu Dhabi. Let's hope for no traffic and a nice clean lap. We should be okay, actually. Don't think we'll catch Norris. Perfect. Perfect start. We like that indeed. That should be more than enough. Ooh, we've got a red flag here in Q1. It's K-Mag. K-Mag, is it into the wall here?
And if we watch Magnussen... There! That's the
there he goes. Spins, loses the back end into the wall. K-Mag is out and a red flag. Will the session be restarted? It will. We won't need to go out again. There'll be less grip anyway. And Hamilton might be struggling to get out of Q1 here now. The whole grid is out near enough, apart from Verstappen and ourselves. Checkered flag. Is Hamilton going to improve? He does. He goes fastest, actually, Lewis. Well done. Wasn't expecting that. Set 9 laps, though. He's not going to have much tyre left. As we see, Yuki Tsunoda looks like he is going to take that penalty. So that is majorly going to affect his chances of keeping this driver championship going to the final race of the season. Okay, straight back out then for Q2 on a scrub set. Maxson did make it through, but he's not going to take part because he's out of the session, of course. Had a little bit of traffic there. Still only a 10th between our drivers. That might be enough. We'll wait and see. Oh, that's certainly not going to be enough. We're a long way off the time here, so we're going to have to go out on a fresh set of softs here. Here we go then. We're out on our second runs here. We are going green, so this looks a lot better. And we are 6th and 8th, and that's going to be enough through to Q3. Okay, then we are into Q3. We're only going for one lap, and here it is as Ricciardo and Alonso get underway. Sainz currently on provisional pole, and he is the only one that has finished. So everyone else is now on their flying laps. So Sainz has set the pace, but everyone now on their flying laps as Alonso sets a 17.7, and it's very close, about half a tenth up for Danny Ricciardo in that first sector. So I think we're approaching Carlos Sainz here. Hopefully Sainz out of the way nicely. He is. Gets out of the way of both drivers very nicely. So we shouldn't have any more traffic now. And we weren't held up there. As DRS open. Let's see what we do in this second sector time then. It's Fernando Alonso approaching it now. And it's a 33.8 and a 33.5. So maybe Fernando did lose a bit of time there to Sainz. That's 2 to 3 tenths he's dropped. So he's about 3.5 tenths behind Ricciardo now. So Alonso is going to be quite a bit off his teammate. Les Ricciardo was picking up a bit of a toe on that straight. Looks a little bit far back though. Looks good for Ricciardo. Not so good for Fernando Alonso. But let's see. As we cross the line then. Fernando Alonso goes P4. Ricciardo goes P3. Dips Alonso back down to P5. We've got other people coming across the line. Norris, Piastri. He's into 5th. Who else have we got to come here? Just Bottas, or has Bottas finished? Everyone has finished. So it's going to be Max on, so Red Bull 1-2, Tsunoda 3rd, Ricciardo 4th, Piastri 5th, and Fernando Alonso in 6th. Here's the full classification then. As we said, the Red Bull secure a 1-2, Max on pole, then Sainz in 2nd, Yuki Tsunoda 3rd, but he's going to take a grid penalty that could essentially lose him this Drivers' Championship, or not lose him the fight, to continue to fight for this championship until the final race of the season. So it looks like Ricciardo will be promoted to P3. It's Piastri P5, Alonso P6, Norris 7th, Leclerc 8th, but also taking a penalty, Bottas 9th, and Perez rounds out the top 10 for Williams, which is good for Williams if they can secure a point here in their battle for 7th. Let's look at strategy then before jumping in to this one. Okay, we are going to go for a split strategy in this one. Danny Rick's going to go for a 1-stop. He's going to go medium to hard. Alonso's going for a 2-stopper, 2 sets of mediums, and then finishing on the softs. Ricciardo 3rd, Alonso 5th. Let's get underway in Abu Dhabi and see if Ricciardo can claim the World Drivers' Championship. But here we go then. 4 lights, 5, and they're being held for quite a while, but underway with Max Verstappen and Sainz. A 1-2. Tsunoda has had to take a grid penalty that I forgot to mention there, so that's even worse for him in his fight to try and keep this World Driver Championship battle going into the final race of the season. Ricciardo, if Tsunoda, it doesn't matter where Tsunoda finishes, if Ricciardo finishes 5th or higher, Ricciardo will become the World Drivers' Champion, and he's jumped Sainz off the line to move into P2, so a good start from Danny Rick here. Let's have a look at tyres, sorry. So Danny Rick on those mediums. Verstappen on the softs. So if you're using the softs, I'd imagine you are going to 2-stop. So I think we'll have quite a mix of 1-stoppers and 2-stoppers here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I cannot pass.
Keep trying.
And Alonso's moved up to 4th as well. And he's all over Carlos Sainz, who is one of the hard runners. So he'll be a little bit slower getting those tyres in the window and get them up to 10th. That's probably why Ricciardo got him off the line. And here we go, Fernando Alonso round the outside here. The 2 right-handers, if I was to say, if he could stick in there or get the inside of the left-hander. As Fernando is arguing that he's pushed wide. I don't see that though. As this manager, this is F1 Manager 24.
DRS enabled. DRS enabled.
DRS is enabled.
Currently P2. Next car is Max.
Well, let's just settle Ricciardo's strategy down. He's got 1.2 on Sainz.
Coming now.
They've dropped Bottas by 1.2 as well. Yeah, so what I was saying is we're going to be starting our Maserati series soon. That will become the main series on the channel. We did a series of community votes, and one of those was to reduce the calendar, or was voted to reduce the calendar. And we're going to start that series with 20 races rather than 24. And we're going to drop Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Miami, and Las Vegas. As Alonso nearly gave the rear end of Sainz a little love tap there. So yeah, we won't see this racetrack in our next series, or at least for the first year. Qatar was definitely my vote to remove. I don't like Qatar on this game at all. It's one of the most boring races on the calendar in-game. Las Vegas is a little bit too much of a DRS train, as Alonso has got past Sainz. Fernando Alonso then on the mediums and Sainz on the hards.
Yes.
And we have installed the 2025 mod for the new series, the upcoming Maserati season. So we'll have the driver lineups as they are in 2025, as well as the liveries. And yeah, so we're all ready to go with that. But first, we've got to close out this season and this series, and hopefully a Drivers' Championship for Danny Rick, as Sainz is going straight back at Alonso, and we really need to settle down on our tyre life now. And how long is Liam Lawson going to be lasting in that Red Bull? Here comes Carlos Sainz, though, in a Red Bull, and he's getting past Daniel Ricciardo, so the Red Bulls look like they've got the pace here. And I've been banging on about Daniel Ricciardo, and whilst we've been doing that, Fernando Alonso is going to be overtaken by Valtteri Bottas here. Bottas on the hards, pushing on the hards though, because he's 58% on those hards, so I'm not too bothered about that at the moment. And we talked about Yuki Tsunoda being behind Fernando Alonso, and here he is. I don't think there's much we can do about this. He's going to have DRS.
Stick on your line.
We can give it a go to fight him back here, but Yuki Tsunoda's starting to fly now.
Yeah, struggling.
Keep your head down. Car behind Piastri. Gap at 2.8.
Well, we have got DRS back on Yuki, but he's got DRS on Bottas, and Bottas is now on Ricciardo. We can't really push Ricciardo at the moment. As I said before we started this race, and if you didn't see the opening gambit to this race, I did say our race pace is not great round here, and we are now starting to see it, because as the AI push,
we need to protect.
They're on us. I'll get back to the chat shortly, but we've got a bit of defending to do here. And we'll have a look at the driver standings in a moment, because it's surely going to change, because I think potentially Bottas, but certainly Tsunoda is going to be up into probably P3 shortly. Zero, thanks for the follow. Tsunoda sets the fastest lap of the race. He is flying, and he needs every point he can get, so I doubt that will remain as the fastest lap. Plenty of time to go, but he does need that extra point. What season is it? 2026? Tixer probably butchered that, but thanks for the follow on Twitch. Alright, here we go. We use a lot of battery out of there. Few cars into the pits. Bottas has got DRS on us. We are using a bit of the battery here.
Bottas in your DRS.
And what's that?
Ocon's had a pit stop issue. That's not going to bother us here. Ricciardo doing well using this battery, but it is going to mean we're not going to have much battery later on. Obviously, we can go for a bit of a top-up phase. But we're down to 16%. They're really pushing, aren't they? I mean, look at Tsunoda. He's in 68% mediums as well, so he's got more tyre margin. Tsunoda can definitely win this race. Once he clears Bottas and Ricciardo, he's going to have a real good pace here. Alonso just kind of trundling along. He's now got Hulkenberg on his back. So yeah, we're struggling at this phase. We can't really push the tyres. There's not much I can do about it.
Yes. Let's go.
Right, Tsunoda's cleared Bottas again, and now we're not going to be doing much about this, because There he goes.
2 points.
Tsunoda's got the pace. And off he goes into P3. Now he's 16 and a half seconds
Keep the head down.
behind the Red Bulls. Let's see how quick he closes that. So I'm bound to forget that. But 16 and a half seconds is the gap. If you want to look at the championship quickly, let's say we need 26 points to claim it today. And it has reduced. But it's now 39 points as we stand. So at the moment, Danny Rick would still be the world champion. All right, here we go then. First stop of the day. Hopefully it's a nice clean one for Fernando. Yes, we like that. 2 seconds flat. Let's just see where Fernando comes out then. What I do like about Abu Dhabi is this pit exit going under the track into the tunnel. Very nice. Always like that. He's going to come out. Oh, God. Are we going to clear poor chair here? Hopefully, we'll not be bogged down behind them. Yes. All right, let's attack. Get those tyres up to 10th. Here comes Ricciardo then. I think he could be as low as 13th or 5th or 16th here. Ricciardo's going to be somewhere between 10th and 16th. Oh, no. No. Not now. Oh,
Okay.
no.
Alrighty.
Michael Massey's joined our pit crew. 6.3. 4-second delay. I think we're going to be 16th here. Or 15th. 15th, sorry. Yeah, we're going to be 15th. Oh dear, Danny Rick's got work to do here. Oh, we cursed it. We said about a pit crew error. We shouldn't have mentioned it. Oh no. Oh no.
1.3 in front.
That is not good. Right, what does that mean as of right now? It's 25 points. So technically, it would go to the last race, and Tsunoda would have to win it. If Tsunoda won it with the fastest lap and we didn't get a point, Tsunoda would become the world champion. Let's make that a bigger screen there. Yeah, so the current gap is 25 points. So as it finished right now, it's going to the last race of the season, and Tsunoda would need a win. Is it race wins the difference if you're level on points? I think it's race wins, isn't it? So actually, if Tsunoda won the race, the last race, and they are level on points, Tsunoda's got more race wins. I think Tsunoda would win. I think that's what happens on a tiebreaker. Do tell me if I'm wrong, though. And Tsunoda's into the pits. I think Tsunoda's going to win this race, though. Ah, this is getting a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it? Safety car. Safety car would be nice.
Tyres are in good shape.
Okay.
Although on a one-stopper, safety car is probably better for the rest of the grid if they're two-stopping now. Yeah, in actual fact, I don't think a safety car would work for Ricciardo because everyone ahead of him could get a free pit stop near enough. Tsunoda has stopped and he's come out in P6, so that's the difference. He's on hards. He's going to the end. The two Red Bulls need to stop again. Tsunoda's got a great chance of winning this race. Ricciardo's tyres. And this is the only thing with the one stop. We don't have much margin on what we can do, but here we go.
Okay.
Ricciardo's got to start making some moves here.
Your race is now.
Get some points back on the board. And the first of those will be George Russell.
Overtake available.
Okay, understood.
Here we go, Ricciardo on the outside. George doesn't want to take the corner. He cuts half of it. But we're going to get past George Russell. So we're up from 15th to 14th. Now we've got Perez ahead of us. So Perez in Leclerc's DRS. It's still pretty, well, yeah, Danny Rick's a long way back off the points at the minute, isn't he? Well, not actually. 10th, he's not too far. It's about 8 seconds off 10th. But he's about 13 seconds off 9th. So Ricciardo's got a lot to do here. Just have Alonso crash into Tsunoda. Yuki's like half a minute behind Max. Yeah, I just think with Max's tyre's already 55%, so he's going to have to box onto some softs. I think Yuki will be taking some pace out of him now. Yeah, it might be a challenge for Yuki to get Max. I think Yuki can definitely get Sainz, though. He can definitely get back to P2. Patrick, thanks for the follow. Chakwi Kevin, thanks for the follow.
Keep your head down.
Right, Danny Rick's getting upset. Don't overdrive it, Danny Rick. Come on. Let's get past here and we'll push on the fuel. Right, he's past Perez. Perez lost the DRS to Leclerc, and Leclerc's dropped him by 3 seconds now. We need to push up. So we've got a yellow flag. We've got an issue here for Lewis Hamilton, I think.
Okay, understood.
Hamilton has crashed. What has happened here then? Alonso was behind him. It's a big lockup for Lewis, and he's then just decided to bump into the barrier.
Okay, keep an eye on your battery.
Right, that's given a position to Alonso.
Went off then.
And Ricciardo's used his battery.
Follow the line of the car in front as
Alonso
much as you can
all
to
over
avoid
Albon
the
here, who's down to 44%. And Alonso straight through there. Good work from Fernando. Fernando's race is going quite well now.
Cancel or reduce lift off where possible.
Copy.
Right, here we go then. Danny Rick for a point. Every point matters right now. What we don't need is any accidents. Megan, thanks for sharing the live. Much appreciated.
Our next car ahead is Leclerc.
Right behind Leclerc. We'll get DRS now, though. So this should be the moment we move back into the points with Daniel Ricciardo. And here we go. DRS open. Using a lot of fuel here, which we're going to balance off now. And Danny Rick into P10. And that is a World Championship point. And now it's 3 seconds to Norris.
Nice.
Verstappen boxes now. But I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be ahead of his... Oh, long stop, though. That was a bit of a delay on the stop. So I think Sainz will be passing. But I think he'll still be out ahead of Hülkenberg here, won't he? Or will he? He's got to go under the... Hülkenberg might get past him. No, he will be out. Oh, I don't know. No, Verstappen does clear Hülkenberg. So that was key, really. Verstappen on hards, though. As Albon and Piastri pit as well. So it's only 14% tyre life between Tsunoda and Verstappen.
1.3.
And he's only 3 seconds off him. So if Tsunoda's got better pace in that car, he might still be able to win the race. Right, so Ricciardo has cleared Piastri and Albon, who have both stopped. It's just how quick their pace is going to be in this final 22 laps and whether they can get back to Ricciardo.
Norris 1.6.
We're slowly gaining on Lando.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace.
Obi-Wan Edits, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. And Alonso is nearly there on Valtteri Bottas. Let's give him a little bit of a help.
Overtake is available.
Right, next
Overtake
pit stops, lap 44 for Fernando.
Okay.
Obviously, no pit stop for Ricciardo. He's going to the end on those hards, unless we get a safety car. Then Ricciardo will be in for a set of softs, depending on how long's left. Oh, red flag. Oh, Piastri and Leclerc are out. Well, that has probably just handed the World Drivers' Championship to Daniel Ricciardo. What has happened here? Oh, didn't look to be too much in it. Oh, the Mercedes nearly right into them.
And for the crew watching on in the garage, that really must have...
That, I think, has handed the championship potentially to Daniel Ricciardo here. Set of mediums, I think, from here. What will the softs do? The mediums, yeah, I think mediums are safer. I think mediums are the way to go. So Leclerc and Piastri out.
For the first time today, the drivers are
Does bring Tsunoda in contention for the win now, of course. But it means Ricciardo's got a great chance to finish at least 5th. He's up to P8. And here we go then. We're back underway. Max gets us... Carlos Sainz, sorry, gets us underway. Max Verstappen 2nd. Hülkenberg 3rd. Tsunoda 4th. Piastri, both Piastri and Leclerc are out. Piastri gets a penalty that he'll take next race. And Alonso and Ricciardo moving up early on here. We have got some soft runners. Have a look at that in a moment.
Less of a lift.
Copy.
Giorgio, thanks for the follow.
Stop the lift off, please.
Yeah.
Ricciardo having a look at Fernando Alonso. Was there another accident back then? No, there wasn't. Ricciardo's past Fernando Alonso. And we have to ask Fernando not... Well, Fernando's on don't fight teammate. That's why he's let him go then. But that's fine. Fernando needs to do the teammate thing here now. Right, tyres then. Sainz on mediums. Verstappen hard. Hulkenberg, Tsunoda and Bottas softs. It's all mixed up here in terms of tyres. But Ricciardo is where he needs... Well, actually, he's not. He's P6 if Tsunoda won the race. But Leclerc and Piastri definitely helped us out massively there.
Recharge on.
Yeah, copy.
I think Hulkenberg's about to be eaten up by Yuki Tsunoda here, though. But here comes Daniel Ricciardo then. But we've already seen cars can collide here, and we really don't need an accident for Danny Rick. And he's safely through then, Daniel Ricciardo.
On next one is Hulkenberg.
Don't want to burn those tyres out too quickly, though. We should have good margin in them. Ricciardo into P5. That's all he needs to do to become a World Driver Champion here today.
Okay, Max.
Alonso try and get past Bottas. Here, Gasly in the Audi in the points at the moment. That'd be massive. There's a fight for 7th going on in the Constructors that they're involved in. Here comes Alonso from a long way back then on Valtteri Bottas. And we're going to move past him and get DRS to pull away. But Bottas keeps DRS on Danny Rick. Tsunoda looks like he's finally making the move on his teammate. This is a drag race now with Valtteri. And we are through on Valtteri Bottas. And now Fernando Alonso just needs to defend. Sit in the DRS of his teammate.
0.8.
And defend Danny Rick's position.
Very good job.
Alright, we're in a bit of a DRS train here. Tsunoda has DRS on his teammate Hulkenberg again. He needs to get through this. He does. And can he get down the road? This is the problem, but now he has got DRS on Sainz, so he should maintain it over Hulkenberg this time. Luke, thanks for the follow. Finley, thanks for the gift. Much appreciated. Thanks for the roses, buddy. So Tsunoda up to P3 and now challenging Carlos Sainz. But it's 5 seconds to Max. Max is using a lot of the hard, though. So Tsunoda, I don't know, he's still got an opportunity here. If he can clear Sainz and pull away, but he struggled to do that on his teammate. So whether he can do it on Sainz, let's wait and see. There is Max Verstappen that leads the race. We're watching a bit of Yuki Tsunoda. Who's in the other Audi seat? We've got Gasly and Enzo Fittipaldi in the Audis.
That's okay.
Ronan, thanks for the follow. Here we go then. Yuki Tsunoda. Looking for the move on Carlos Sainz. Can't get it done, but he's going to have a good opportunity here now with DRS. Here comes Yuki then. Alonso just needs to use a bit of that battery. Yuki Tsunoda clear of Carlos Sainz, but can he pull away? This is the problem he's had.
Honestly, I don't think we can do much more.
Ricciardo, don't get upset, Ricciardo. You're doing enough. Now, this is the problem Tsunoda had with Hulkenberg. Is Sainz going to get him back? He is. And that is the problem Tsunoda's had since this restart. What Tsunoda really needs to do is wait for the second DRS zone to get those moves done. Hulkenberg is having a go back, and Sainz is alongside Yuki Tsunoda again, and Sainz is back through. So just not working out for Yuki Tsunoda. Not that we're bothered about that, of course. Do you do commentary? No, not as such.
No problem.
Only the odd talking bits through here, but... Tomek, good to hear, buddy. Oh, and Danny Rick squeezing past Sainz, who was with Tsunoda briefly in P2, and he's nearly down to P5 here. In fact, he is down to P5. So Danny Rick now into P4. Although Tsunoda's into P2, this is not going to matter.
Nice.
Okay,
Sainz having a look back.
So that's P4. Our next one is Hülkenberg.
So as it stands... Oh no! Oh no! We haven't put Alonso on... Okay, we'll deal with that in a minute. It doesn't matter with Alonso. Anyway, if you've seen that message pop up, you know what I've done wrong there. Right, the current gap is 40 points. Tsunoda needs it to be 26 or under, so we will be comfortable to become Drivers' Champion today. What has just popped up there, and you'll see it here, is I completely forgot. We went mediums with Fernando in his first stint, and then when it's a red flag, we've put him on another medium. So he will be disqualified if we finish the race there. And unfortunately, we're going to have to box Fernando, which is probably going to mean he doesn't score any points. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. He can't challenge for a title. And we've already won the Constructors, but that's a bit of a boo-boo on us. But Ricciardo, let's try and get him a podium, shall we? Let's try and get him past Yuki Tsunoda. Here he goes, down the inside on Yuki, and Yuki, championship dream, is being shattered here. He needs to win the race. He needs Ricciardo 6th or lower, and it's not going to happen for Yuki. Can Ricciardo win this race now? That's what we need to focus on. That's what we need to try and achieve with Danny Ricciardo. And Alonso, unfortunately, that is on us, Fernando. Yeah. He's had 3 sets of mediums this race. He needs to have a different compound, of course. How far back is he going to be here? He couldn't have got a podium, Alonso. Probably not. So, if he's ahead of Albon, that... God, he's not going to be ahead of Albon, is he? Oh, no. He's going to be far back on this. Oh, dear. Okay, Fernando. Anyway, let's get back to this because this is more important because Ricciardo's cleared Tsunoda and he's now on Tsunoda's teammate, Nico Hülkenberg.
14. The car ahead is Hamilton.
And he can't quite get it done on Hülkenberg, but he's got a second stab of it. And this is what Tsunoda wasn't doing. Ricciardo does it the first time of asking. And he's through. And we're going to push on the battery, the fuel and tyres and try and meet Max Verstappen at the front of this race and try and win it. Win the championship in style. George Russell then is the next victim for Fernando Alonso. And Alonso is through into 11th. He should be able to get to at least P8 here, Fernando. But if you're jumping into the stream, you haven't already, do me a massive favour and hit that like button. Really helps me out. And let me know in the comments what is going to be your sprint podium in the morning. Well, depends where you are, but in a few hours' time, what is the sprint podium going to look like? And Fernando's got some serious pace on these fresh softs, and he's on the inside of Pierre Gasly. And he's right alongside Teo Porcher, near enough here.
Behind 2.3.
Alonso is flying on those new softs. And he is back into the points. Magson's got a mechanical fault. Alonso surely going to set the fastest lap on these tyres as well in a minute. Right, Ricciardo still 2.2 off Max.
Full concentration.
Got better tyre life. We can continue pushing. I don't want to push too much on the battery. I want to save a bit if we can get there. But Ricciardo looks like he's going to achieve at least P2 here. He is going to become a World Driver Champion here today unless he has a retirement. And here comes Fernando Alonso on Teo Porcher. And he's making easy work of these overtakes. Got DRS to pull away and to gain on Alex Albon. And he should comfortably be into P8 shortly. And who knows how far he can get here, Fernando. We go straight on to Albon then. Can we get this done on this next DRS zone? I think we probably will, you know. Don't want to be there though, Fernando. Fernando, we're going to get out of the gearbox of Albon. No, you're not. Alright, yours going Max first, Piastri second, Hamilton third, Daniel Verstappen P1, Norris P2, Hamilton P3, Neo Verstappen, Hamilton, Antonelli, bold.
Yeah, mate.
So everyone so far fancying Max for the win. I still think that, as I might be a bit biased, but I still think the McLaren's got a bit of pace in the car.
6 more laps.
So I'm going to go for a Piastri win, Lando second, Hamilton third.
Okay, tires are hot.
And Alonso on Alex Albon this time, and he is through now into P8. And he can use a little bit more of that battery to get underway.
Overtake is available.
Alonso's
Overtake
right on
available.
Lando Norris here. Alonso is absolutely flying here. He didn't set the fastest lap though somehow. But here comes Fernando again. Fernando then on Lando Norris. And he's through on Lando. The next victim will be Bottas, but then it's 6 seconds to Sainz. That's where Alonso was, wasn't he? P6. So Alonso might, even though we had to stop again, get back to where he was. Ricciardo, he's getting ever so close to Max Verstappen. We had this before. We had this in Monaco where we could see Max's rear wing, but we could not get close enough or get to him. And the problem is we've used a lot of battery here, so we've not got much to play with. As Alonso has got to Bottas and got past him. So Fernando has had mega pace here. And there we go. So that's where Fernando was, and I'm glad I saw that message come up about using 2 compounds. But Fernando's got back to where he was, so nothing really lost for Fernando, but he could have battled these guys. Let's just pull away from Bottas so we don't fight him for the rest of the race. Max has pulled the gap for 2 seconds here. I think Max has got this covered, unfortunately.
Okay. Yep, understood.
The battery is gone. Ricciardo
Hold the overtake.
pushes on. Tsunoda is going to get a podium, but he's not going to become the World Drivers' Champion. It is going to be Daniel Ricciardo,
Confirm.
the Honey Badger. One of the biggest personalities in Formula One. Sadly, no longer in the sport, as we know. But Daniel Ricciardo lives on in this series. He's been our driver since day one in this series. We've had 3 different drivers next to him. Mick Schumacher, Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso. He's beat each of them every year. He's been consistent for us. And this year, we have given him a car that is good enough to claim a championship. And he has not let us down. He's won multiple races, but he's been consistent all year. And he's just got half a lap to go now until he is going to cross the line. And the man from down under, the Honey Badger, is going to claim a World Driver Championship. As so many fans would have loved to have seen in real life, it's not going to be possible now with him not in the sport. But in a virtual world where anything can happen, it's going to happen. Daniel Ricciardo, his old teammate Max Verstappen is going to win the race. But it doesn't matter, because Daniel Ricciardo is the 2026 World Drivers' Champion. The Honey Badger has done it.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
He's very calm under that helmet.
For the efforts.
He's emotional, I guess. He's emotional. Sainz finishes 5th, but Fernando Alonso, we messed up the strategy there, but somehow he had blistering pace at the end, and he comes back for P6 where he was before that final pit stop. But it's all about Danny Rick. There he is.
What a year to remember for Daniel Ricciardo.
Come on.
As he wins the championship. And I'm not sure there's anyone who enjoys a podium quite like Daniel Ricciardo does.
Gets a podium. It's not the win, but he's not going to be bothered because he's the World Driver Champion. Yuki Tsunoda gave him a good fight in the end. Yuki is not going to be a champion this year.
That's another one over.
Max Verstappen's actually dominating as well alongside Yuki at the end of the season, so Max might still have a chance to finish P2 in this championship. We'll have a look shortly. But Danny Rick is the champion of the world. Limbs indeed, Lenny. There's Limbs. Limbs in the Team Lotus garage.
Their championship win.
Elamante, thanks for the follow.
They're celebrating. They picked up both the Drivers and the Constructors Championship.
That is right. Drivers and Constructor Championship double. We wrapped the Constructors' last race in Qatar. And with a race to go, Danny Rick has done it this year. But here is the full race classification then. Max Verstappen wins it from pole. Pretty dominant in the end for Max. We got close, but he had us covered off. Danny Rick up 1 to finish second. Yuki took that penalty, so it was always going to be an uphill battle for him. But he does finish third on the podium, but it's not enough to win the championship or take the championship to the final race of the season. His teammate also up 12, so good race in the end for the RBs. Carlos Sainz down 3. Alonso down 1, but he was 6th before we realised that we hadn't used a second compound, so we had to box for those soft, blistering pace at the end and got back to P6. Bottas finished where he started, P7. Albon up 3 to 8th, so there's points for Aston Martin, Lando 9th, and there's a point for Audi as well. So we'll have a look what that does to the constructors, because there is a fight for 7th between, I believe it's Aston Martin, Audi, Williams and Haas, so that might have shaken that up a little bit. Drivers' Championship then, there we have it. The gap needed to be 26 points or less going into the final race for Yuki to have a chance, but it is not. It is 46 points, so it didn't work in the end for Yuki. There was a couple of points in that race, especially before the red flag, when we were down in, well, we were 15th at one point, then we got to 10th, and Yuki was then battling for 2nd/3rd with Sainz. And there was a point there where it looked like it might go to the final race of the season. In the end, it doesn't. Danny Rick is the 2026 champion. Only 4 race wins. Look at that, 15 podiums. He's been consistent, as he has been all through this series. And that's what's done it. Yuki has had more wins, 6 race wins. Max has had more race wins. Danny Rick, Mr. Consistency. Yuki might still drop to P2. Yes, indeed. So we'll have a look at that when I'm on next stream. There will be some battles still to be had here. One of them, potentially, is for P2 in the championship because it's only 12 points between Max and Tsunoda. So Max could finish P2. Alonso's P4. Sainz is 5th. Piastri 6th. There's big gaps between these, so it doesn't look like anything's available there. Hulkenberg, perhaps Lando Norris could challenge Hulkenberg for 7th. But that would need a big result for Lando. Then we've got Bottas in 9th. 8 points on Hamilton. There's potential for that being a battle. Other than that, nothing really there in the top 10. And then we've got George in 12th. Albon now up to 13th. He's got 17 points this season for Aston Martin. His teammate, Kevin Magnussen's got none. Teo Pourchaire is in 14th with 14 points. Pierre Gasly goes to 15th. He's now on 8 points, claimed another point for Audi. Then we've got Perez, Ocon and Bortoletto. So as I say, Magnussen along with Fittipaldi and the 2 Alpines still yet to score. And let's see what's happened to the constructors then. We know we've won it, but I want to see that P7 battle. And say Lotus have won it. Red Bull continue to gain us, so it doesn't look like a massive margin. Probably won't be a massive margin by the final race. It's well, say massive. It's still probably going to be about 70, 80 points by the time we wrap this season. Red Bull looking pretty good. Well, they are good now for P2. I don't think that's even mathematically possible, is it, for RB? So Red Bull are going to finish 2nd. RB are going to finish 3rd. McLaren are going to finish 4th. Realistically, Ferrari are going to finish 5th. And Mercedes will finish 6th. So the top 6 is all done and dusted. But we have had a change in this battle for 7th. And Aston Martin, 4 points from Albon. Massive 4 points. It's taken Aston Martin 1 point ahead of Haas. So the battle for 7th is now Aston Martin on 17 points. Haas on 16. Williams on 11. And Kick Sauber, who are now Audi in this game, have gained 1. But that's probably not enough. They've only gained 8 points all season. They need 9 in the final race of the season. Although it is Brazil and strange things can happen in Brazil, but realistically, I'll probably say Williams and Audi with 1 race to go are probably out of it. So it's going to be Aston Martin against Haas for P7 in the Constructors Championship in Brazil. So that's probably going to be that'll be the main Constructors fight, and probably the main Drivers fight is going to be for P2 between Max and Yuki. And I think Max could definitely do it. He's winning quite a good few races at the end here. And if he wins and Yuki finishes, I think, 4th or 5th, that will probably claim Max 2nd in the championship. But there we have it. That brings this episode to a close. And what an episode it is. Daniel Ricciardo finally is a world champion in Formula 1. And finally, for us, a driver's title after 3 years, 3 seasons in this series. We've finally done it. Double. We've done the double Constructors and World Drivers Champion. But it is all merit to the Honey Badger. As I said in that sort of closing stages, he's been so consistent for us. He's seen off 3 different teammates and he has beat every single one of them. Mick Schumacher, Liam Lawson, and now Fernando Alonso this year. And that has helped him on his way to this Drivers' Championship. So if you haven't already, you've got to put a massive like on the video for that result for Danny Rick. And of course, if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. We've got one more episode to go in this series, and then we'll be switching over to a new main series. So I might still drop the odd Lotus episode, but the main series will be switching after the last race in the season, which will be Brazil. So do come back for that, and we can see how the championship all finishes off in all of the places. As I say, not too much to fight for. Maybe Max to try and get second place over Yuki in the Drivers' Championship. And we've got a Constructors battle for 7th. So make sure to come back for the final episode as we head to Brazil. And we'll be back very shortly with that final episode in this Team Lotus F1 Manager series.